What is the correct pronunciation for the name of the Dark Lord? Is it Sauron, Sauron, or something of that nature? Or instead, is it closer to Sauron, Sauron, or more of a back sound if we're going by a vowel chart? Now, I should point out that I have a North American, specifically Western Canadian accent. So for me, soar and saw have a very obvious distinction, whereas someone with a British or I believe Australian accent would pronounce both as something in the middle, like Sauron. But correct me if I'm wrong there, and there is a distinction. I would posit that something kind of like Sauron was probably the most common pronunciation prior to the Peter Jackson movies. It turns out there's actually a reasonably good argument to be made for either pronunciation, and the short answer is both are okay, but let's dig into that evidence. By far the most popular convention today is Sauron, which we get from Google, the movies, and the TV show.
Sauron. Sauron.
The Dark Lord Sauron.
Sauron.
In addition to that evidence, we also have a pronunciation guide given a few times in different sources that agree with that way of saying it. In the Silmarillion, it says the first syllable of Sauron is like the English sour, not sore. This also comes up in another source, saying AU has the value of the English ow in town, thus the first vowel of Sauron is like the English sour, not sore. That seems like pretty compelling canon evidence that the Sauron or Sauron pronunciation is better than Sauron. But here's the twist. We have audio clips of Tolkien reading his novel and speaking in interviews where he doesn't always pronounce it that way. To my ear, he distinctly is saying something closer to Sauron at times, but let's hear a few examples from the man himself.
People of the Tower of Anor, for the realm of Sauron is ended forever, and the Dark Tower is thrown down.
We have come to the heart of the realm of Sauron, and the forces of his ancient might.
Whose work had led to the downfall of Sauron. Also, she passed the great temptation, and the ring was actually offered to her by Sauron.
Morgoth, the prime mover of evil, of whom Sauron was only a petty lieutenant.
Whether he's adapting to the interviewer's pronunciation or not is hard to say, but certainly he seemed comfortable using them interchangeably. So if you want to say Sauron or Sauron, you can at least point to examples where J.R.R. Tolkien said it in that way. I don't think you can go wrong with either, though there is technically better textual evidence for Sauron, as they say it in the movies and TV show. Hopefully that helps.